Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so, along with hitting that thumbs up button for me and dropping your comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and feelings about this game one in round two. Miami Heat came to the Garden, and they took care of business. They took game one from the Knicks. It was a tough battle for most of the way. I'm going to break it all down. We got highlights for you. Let's get into it right now. So the Knicks lost 108-101, and it was basically a second half collapse by the Knicks. Not a collapse, it's a little extreme, but we had a 5-point lead going into the half, beginning of the second half, and man, did the Heat just suddenly go on a 12-2 run to get back in this game, because the Knicks actually had come out of right after the jump of the second half. We extended the 5-point lead up to 9. It was 69-60, and then the Heat just went on a run to take the lead 62-61, and then they continued to extend it a little bit. The Knicks battled. They got it. They cut it back. They had a nice little clapback response themselves. I think they went on a 6-0 run or 7-0 run or whatever. But, man, the Knicks just could not do this. Shoot threes. The Knicks could not shoot threes tonight, and it cost them dearly. Cost them big time, because the Miami Heat actually did connect on some threes. And I'll say this. Kyle Lowry was the difference in this game. Kyle Lowry and Kevin Love's ability to get passes over the defense to leak outs, which is something that usually we do really well with Obi. They did that. It looked to me like about three straight times. 2 of them worked. And I think the third one, I think they got a foul. I can't remember, or maybe the ball went out of bounds, but they ended up with the ball anyway. In the very beginning during that 12-2 run, that was a big difference. It extended our defense, and we didn't respond. We didn't respond properly. And I'm going to get into that specifically here, but I wanted to show you this. Here, let's keep going here. Actually, we got highlights. But before we get to the highlights, I want to show you something else here. Here's another thing. So Jimmy Butler sprained his ankle late in that fourth quarter. I think about 3.5 minutes left, maybe 4 minutes left, not sure. And they did not target him. They tried, and they were not successful. They even set a screen. But RJ was the one with the ball, and they set a screen, and so then Jimmy was guarding him, and it switched, and Jimmy ended up not guarding RJ. And it just was a waste of an opportunity to make him pay. Because if you're going to be out on the court, doesn't matter. If you're a weakness, you should take advantage of it. The Knicks did not do that. And as I mentioned, Lowry was fantastic. Lowry outplayed Emmanuel Quickley today off the bench, as he provided that spark off the bench, that X factor, that factor that the teams don't scheme as much on to contain and control. So they weren't totally fully prepared for Lowry doing what he did. And there was a moment where this was the key moment of the game. And when it happened, I could see it totally, the lights, not go out, but I could see the Knicks, because the Knicks had been battling after they gave up the lead to the Heat in that third quarter. They were battling back, and they got it down to within 3 points with 4:53 left after a make by Jalen Brunson, who struggled. This game was Jalen uncharacteristically struggled, and I'll get into exactly why I think it happened, but I'll get into it. So here, in the fourth quarter, with 4:53 left in the game, right? Brunson comes out, makes a little 4-foot driving floater, and then Lowry gets the ball. He misses his layup. Mitch gets the rebound, the offensive rebound, and Lowry puts his hand up, just punches the ball out of Mitch's hands, and they get a second chance possession, and it lands in Gabe Vincent's hands. Gabe Vincent, who hit the big 3-point bucket late in that game against the Bucks when they were down 4, he nailed this 3-point shot. So it was brutal at that moment, because at that moment the score was 97-94 with under 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, and then Vincent hits that 3-pointer. It extends the lead to 6 points. And then Kyle Lowry blocks, or they call it a block, a Jalen Brunson 7-foot driving layup. To me, it almost looked like he just swatted the ball down, but they called it a block. It ended up being, I think it was a jump ball. Yes, jump ball. And Caleb Martin gained the possession. And then basically the Knicks could not score after that. Ended up for like another minute of game time just ticked away. And at the 3:26 mark, Bam hits two-pointer. And then the lead ticks up to 102-94. It starts getting a little more comfortable, and the Knicks could not hit a three-point shot. Now, I've some issues with certain rotation choices, but I think I have an interesting take on this. Might surprise you guys, might not. You'll see, but I'll get into it in a little bit. Let's get to the highlights here. Here we go. So, maybe, what is this? Are we backwards here? Oh, well. So here, we're starting here in the third quarter. As you can see, there's Miami had gained the lead. That's a frustrating one. This is what I was talking about. Look at him. Look at him. Look at Love's beautiful pass. And, kudos to Butler to fight to Obi for that. But Obi should have been a little more prepared for that. And then, that's it. Look, 74-70. But here, we cut it down to 2. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle from this point on. You can see Spoelstra was a little worried because they were like cooking for a little bit, and then we were able to respond. But they kept closing quarters like strong, the Miami Heat. And that, what I always say is the mark of the team that is most likely going to win. If you close your quarters strong, you're most likely going to win. The winning teams close, especially halves. This was a good moment here, except, that's the one that he did hit. There was one. That was a big bucket. Now, this brings me to one of the major issues that I had with the closing lineup, or the final, the mid fourth quarter lineup. So at that point, Obi was still on the court right here with 10 minutes left. Let's see what happened here in this play. Oh yeah, that was just a total collapse on defense. Hartenstein was out there, so was Obi. And what moment did Obi come out of this game? Trying to see here. Can't remember here. But right there you can see, here we go. So we were down. We battled. We were down 8, even 10 at one point. RJ gets no foul call there. And RJ continually did not get the right foul calls. All right, here we go. So that moment there. This guy be the one I'm talking about here. So this is it. So we hit that nice bucket right there. So it's 97-94. We were battling back. And, that's the three-pointer, the dagger that Gabe Vincent. Once that hit, I just had this bad feeling. And I just kept hoping somehow we'd recover. And we just never could at that point. Oh, that was rough, man. That was rough. This was a big monster bucket. Look at this crazy thing just off the side there. Lowry was just phenomenal. Lowry's just phenomenal. All right, that is enough for highlights of this game. I mean, it's RJ actually had a strong game here. I'm bearing a lot of leads here. RJ had a decent game. Unfortunately, there was a moment there where he definitely disappointed us, but he had a very decent game. He did not close the fourth quarter well at all. He got a little too helter-skelter, but by that point, the game was out of hand. He was trying to make, wine out of water, and he just doesn't have that ability, obviously. That was a big bucket there. That was Lowry again. Lowry was a major factor here. Obi. Obi had a decent game as well. All right, let's get back to the stats. All right, so here we go. Obi finished 18 points, 7 of 15, 4 of 11 from the three-point line. He was the only Knick shooting the three-point shot well. Now, why wasn't he on the court there in that fourth quarter when we desperately needed some three-point shooting, some outside shooting, especially when they were throwing zones at us, and they were collapsing into the paint when Brunson had the ball. They were almost begging the Knicks to shoot three-pointers. Now, here's the thing. You have to just keep doing it. You can't give that up. I know, even when you're not making them, you can't give it up. Look, the Knicks only shot 7 of 34, 20.6%. But a lot of those attempts, they weren't confident attempts. They weren't within the rhythm of the offense. And they were like kind of Josh Hart. Josh Hart was a 0 for 4. Brunson 0 for 7 from the three-point line. So that the Villanova boys 0 for 11 combined. RJ I think he hit his very first three-point attempt, and I was like jumping out of my seat, then missed the next 4. 1 of 5 for him. Quickly, 1 of 4 for him. Grimes, 1 of 3. Grimes is his first game back from his shoulder injury. Only played 10 minutes. Wasn't much of a factor at all. But I'm not surprised about that. And as you guys know, and I may have also just totally skipped over this, but Julius Randle obviously didn't start. He's still nursing his sprained ankle. There's an assumption that he'll be available for Tuesday. And maybe this was like, let's give him this extra day off, let that ankle heal a little more, and he'll be available for Tuesday. Let's hope that works out. Mitch Robinson, 7 points, 14 rebounds for him in 34 minutes. But Brunson, unfortunately, Jalen Brunson just wasn't himself today. And a lot of that may have had to do with the way the Heat were defending. Whenever he was trying to get into the paint, they were just throwing guys there and forcing him to give up the ball to find guys on the perimeter. The times when he did do that, which he didn't do that often, but the times when he did do that, guys just didn't hit three-point shots, except for Obi. He was the only one. So it was a game plan, a defensive game plan that worked for the Heat. Now, I will say this. I don't think that plan can work for 3 more games. I just don't think. Jalen Brunson is too good a player. He will figure it out. And also, he won't go 0 for 7. He wasn't taking his three-point shots in rhythm as well. There were a couple where he was, but he just didn't have it today. But I don't see a guy who shot 40% from the three-point line in the regular season is going to continue shooting like that in the playoffs. You know, is he going to shoot 40% in the playoffs? Probably not, but he's going to shoot better than 0? Yes. So I see that as being a big thing that could change for Game 2. Another thing is Josh Hart. If Grimes is available to go, I think Grimes will probably start Game 2 because we want that energy that Josh Hart gives us to come off the bench, to be that jolt of energy, that helter-skelter, frenetic defense that he brings. It's just it's like a new aspect that just comes into the game, and you're not given enough time to get used to it if he starts. So I want to see Grimes start, but it all depends on health. That shoulder was all taped up. We'll see. Maybe this was a nice game for him to kind of get through. He did hit his 1 3-point, 1 of 3. I forgot when he hit that one, but it was a decent look. Let's see. Let's get back to this here, man. So, like I said, the bench was not its usual difference maker for the Knicks like they were in that Cleveland series. The bench only accounted for 15 points, which quickly gave 9, but look at that efficiency. 3 of 9, only 1 of 4 from the three-point line, only 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Again, did play some excellent defense. I saw him play, some moments there where I was just like, wow, just my mouth was just wide open from his defense. But the thing is, without a Julius Randle on the court or even available, someone else has to step up and provide that scoring punch to make defenses fear him. Right now, defenses don't fear Obi Toppin, obviously, for obvious reasons, even though he did have a great game. And Jalen Brunson, they have a way to deal with him. RJ, they have a way to deal with RJ, but RJ got off to a fantastic start. He did cool off. He finished with 26 points. It was the leading scorer for the Knicks, 10 rebounds. Shot 50% overall, but only 1 of 5 from the three-point line. So that means he shot 9 of 15 from inside the arc. And then he got 10 rebounds for him. So he almost had a triple-double. If he'd had 3 more assists, he would have had a triple-double. Brunson finished with 3 assists. The Knicks, we finished with 20 assists, which in a low-scoring game like this, it's not good, obviously, but it's not as terrible as I thought it was going to be. To me, it felt like we were down by in the low teens in terms of assists. So, and the Knicks overall shot 47.7%. We definitely cooled off in that second half tremendously, though. That second half. In the first half, the Knicks were shooting 55.8% overall. And then in the second half, that thing totally fell off the cliff, and we ended up shooting just 39.5% in the second half. Oh, man. When you look at some of these stats, they're so frustrating. All right, let's keep going here. Remember, I'm going to talk more about Thibs and Julius and stuff and Brunson. So here's the plus minus. This gives you an interesting insight into the tone of this game. Mitch Robinson, a minus 17, even though he gave us 14 rebounds, 5 offensive, 9 defensive, 2 blocks, but he did commit 2 turnovers at 1. That Lowry just stripped the ball. That was brutal. He finished a minus 13. Obi was even 0 when he was on the court. Brunson, minus 8. Josh Hart, minus 8. Barrett, minus 9. Hartenstein, a plus 6. He's a plus 6. Quickly, a minus 4. And Quentin Grimes, a minus 1. Here we go. Now you can look at the Miami Heat. Look at that. The last guy in the box score there who played, Kyle Lowry, 30 minutes, 5 of 12. Now, he didn't cook us, 5 of 12, but 3 of 6 from the three-point line. 5 rebounds, 6 assists. How many steals did he have? Let's see how many steals did he have, because he really made. He had 4 blocks as well. Kyle Lowry had 4 blocks. 4 blocks. He only got credit for 1 steal. That must have been the one that I was talking about. But only 2 turnovers on 6 assists and 4 blocks. Excellent game for Kyle Lowry. Now, do I have hope that he's going to do that again? No. I don't think so. This could be like one of those one type game situations. Seriously, I'm serious about that. Gabe Vincent, even though he hit that monster 3-point shot, and the 3-point shots are huge. He shot 5 of 12 from the 3-point line, 41.7%, which is excellent, and hit that key 3-pointers. But inside the arc, he was useless. He was, he ended up 6 of 16 overall. He needed 16 shots to get 20 points. But, in a scrappy game like this, any team would most teams would take that at this point, but it's not the most efficient game. They didn't have such a great efficient game. They shot 42.4% overall, but they did shoot average 1 of 3 from behind the arc, 13 of 39. And those additional 3-point shots that they made were the absolute difference in this game. The Knicks only made 7. They made 13, so they made an additional 6. That's an additional 18 points right there. Ouch. And they hit their free throws. They hit 23 out of 29. We only hit 12 of 20. We shot 60%. They shot almost 80%. Brutal. Let's see here. Oh, one thing I wanted to do was, did I do this? Let's see here. Anyway, here are the team stats. So as I was just rattling off, the rebounds. We did win the rebounding battle, but not by enough of a margin against this kind of a team. 48-39. We eked out the offensive rebound battle 12-10, so not enough to make up for all those missed threes that we had, all those missed shots that we had. Just not enough. Assists, 26. We were -6 in assists. Steals, we were -2. Blocks, a -1. So overall, in the stocks category, we were a -3 in that against them. We committed more turnovers, and we allowed way many more points off of the turnovers. We gave up 22 points off of our 13 turnovers. They committed 9 turnovers, but only allowed 8 points off of their turnovers. So their ability to get back on defense made a big difference. And I could see there were times when, RJ was trying to, as he was bringing the ball up, look at ways to get past the defense. And same with Hart. And the Heat did a great job of clogging that up and suffocating him. And this brings me to another point, the fouls. So you can look at here. Only 14 fouls called on the Heat and 21 on the Knicks. Now, in my opinion, this was a terribly refereed game. That, in my opinion, and a lot of it was on both sides. It wasn't that you couldn't tell what was a foul. A lot of times, there was a moment when RJ took the ball up the right side of the lane, and he got bumped pretty hard, and he made the bucket, but he got bumped hard, and he throws his hands up. Then on the very next play, on the other end, Lowry tries to drive on Grimes. Grimes barely. The contact on RJ was at least 3 times more intense than the contact that Grimes gave to Lowry, and they called the foul on Grimes. No foul on the Heat on the other end. That's the kind of stuff that drives players crazy, drives the fans crazy, and NBA, you got to straighten that shit out. That's the kind of stuff that just makes me nuts. And the Garden crowd is going to let them know in Game 2 if that stuff keeps happening. This inability to set the tone of what is a foul and what is not a foul in the game by the refs is really hurting the product itself. And at this point, I mean, it's lame to bitch and complain about it, but that's just the reality of that situation. And I'm sure the Heat probably feel the same way. You know, in this case, it worked for them, but if the same exact situation happens in Game 2 and it's reversed, they're going to be whining and complaining about it, you know? So you can see the largest lead the Knicks had at one point was 12 points, and the largest lead the Heat had was 11, and that was towards the very end of the fourth quarter. Ooh, which was rough. And here, I showed you that one already. Man, I was hoping to bring in this other, let me see here. Let me see if I can add this here. It's a stat I wanted to add here. Yes, this is what I wanted to see at. All right. There it is. The team comparisons. As you can see, second chance points, we were only a +4 there, 11-7. 11 second chance points is not a lot for the New York Knicks. Fast break points, we got beat there, 15-13. Like I mentioned, the Heat were excellent at getting back on defense. Points in the paint, the only reason, I mean, this game would have been a blowout if we didn't own the paint, and we totally owned it 62-38 there. So, let's get to the story. The story of this game, the way I see it, is Spoelstra knew he had only one chance for winning this series, and that is forcing the Knicks to go away from what works for them. So limiting second chance opportunities, forcing turnovers. Well, we had 13. That's right in line with our average. But as you can see in the second chance point situation, we did not own that. We were a +4 only in that. And force the Knicks into becoming a three-point shooting team. But not quality three-point shooting attempts. Frustrated ones. Distressed looks. There were several that just should not even have been taken. And then that forced us to pass up shots that we should have taken. There was a possession where Josh Hart, I can't remember what point of the game it was, but he got the ball. He should have taken it, and I think it came. Oh, I don't remember what it was. It came off 2 missed three-point attempts. We got the ball back, got the offensive rebound, and missed it, and the ball swung around to Hart on the right side. He was behind the arc, and he had a clean look, but I think in his mind he's like, oh, we just missed 2 attempts, and then he was wide open. Instead, he decided to drive. He drove into traffic and committed a turnover. And I get it. Everyone's like, oh, no, we can't rely on a three-point shot. The problem is the three-point shot is a reality of the NBA. It's just part of the actual strategy. And when you try to deviate too far away from the game plan, you end up with no game plan. So, at this point, this is what has to happen. The Knicks obviously have to make their three-point shots. The Knicks have to kick the ball out of the paint faster. Soon as the Heat collapse, they got to get the ball out. Now, that's all ABC stuff, basic stuff. But on pick and rolls with Brunson, Jalen Brunson, when you're in the pick and roll and you end up with the ball and you're behind the arc, you got to just let that shot fly, brother. You can't be like dribbling, trying to get even ability to, no, just let it fly. Even if you don't have it. I know you end up 0 for 7. That's because sometimes you just took three-point attempts that you shouldn't have even attempted in the wrong moment. Game flow threes are gold. You have to take them. Now, there was a moment, like, for example, an example of what's not a game flow three. So, towards the close of the second quarter, the Knicks got a nice stop at the end, and the ball ended up with Quickly. He took it up the right side, and it was like a 2-on-4 type fast break. It really wasn't even a fast break. Maybe it was like a 1-on-3 with just Quickly. and quickly decided to just heave a three-point shot, but he didn't set himself, wasn't a good look, and it missed. Now, that kind of shot disrupts your flow, your ability to make shots. Now, and he ended up just making 1 of 4 overall. And then it also takes his confidence away from attempting more three-pointers. You want quickly shooting more and more and more. The more he takes, the more he's going to make. Same thing. I feel the same way about Grimes. I feel the same way about Brunson. Unfortunately, today it didn't work with Brunson. 0 for 7. But I don't think over the stretch of a series that's going to be the main issue. And now I'm going to get down to this. I did not make a prediction for this game because I actually didn't want to actually say the words that I didn't think we were going to win this game. I didn't think we were going to win this game. I didn't. Not having Randall against the Heat is very different than not having Randall against the Cavs. I know that sounds odd, but it is. It's very different because of the way that Spoelstra schemes. Spoelstra he's probably the best coach in the NBA. He forces you to do things you don't want to do. And the Knicks did it. Now, Randall is one of our better three-point shooters in general. He's got the height to get a clean look up over the defense. So we missed that. Fortunately, Obi was there to provide that. So that's not really an excuse. But the difference is the way the defense is drawn to Julius. He commands double teams. He's big. He's burly. He forces teams into foul trouble. Obi didn't go to the free throw line once. So those are the things that we're missing. And now Obi did give us 8 rebounds, which is nice, but Randall gives you 11, 12 rebounds. So we're losing a little bit. Not a little bit. We're losing a decent amount of significant production from that 4 spot. And it's the way that Spoelstra forces us to play them. Now, do I think Thibs could have done something to really change that situation? Yes. Here's what I think. He should have brought in Deuce. We needed some Deuce action there to, get there, disrupt Lowry, burn some fouls, disrupt Vincent. Don't let them have such clean looks. Even put Deuce on Jimmy Butler for a couple of plays here and there. Anything. Instead, we kept going with Hart, and Hart did an okay job in the first half, but in the second half, he really trailed off. And just offensively, how did he end up offensively, Hart? 5 of 12. Yeah. Not such a productive game for him offensively. He played 43 minutes. He's not a guy that you can give the ball to and say score. He scores in transition, and even today he struggled a bit on that as well. So, does this mean the series is over? Not at all. Not at all. The Knicks we're not a great three-point shooting team. Nope, but we can have games where we do shoot the three very well. And it comes from guys like Grimes, IQ, Brunson, Obi Toppin. Those 4 guys can give us that, and even Deuce can come in and hit a 3. At one point, but I'm not going to count on those guys. Even RJ, just the three-point shot hasn't been there for him, so I'm not going to count him in that realm at all. But those 4 guys can give you some three-point production. We can't go away from that. We have to lean into that, and on top of it, we have to figure out ways to open up the paint more for Jalen Brunson. Now, in the Cavs series, oftentimes Mitch wasn't right on the block there as someone was driving. He'd be a little bit further out to pull the defender out, the guy guarding him further out. We need to do that again, at least for now. We need to allow Jalen to get into a rhythm so then he can start cooking. He makes those super circus shots, yes. However, a lot of those come later on in the game once he's in the flow and he's got his touch. He could not gain his touch today. Not at all. In fact, I think he had a pretty bad first quarter. Let's look at him here. 1 for 7 in the first quarter. He was 1 for 7. So he just never got in the flow. All right, look. Without Randall and a limited Grimes, just 10 minutes, the Knicks are not going to be a scrappy, tough team like the Heat, who has tremendous playoff experience, who were in the Eastern Conference Finals twice, and the finals once. That was the bubble. Yeah, can't even remember now. But the point is, they know how to win in the playoffs. They know how to play playoff basketball, and the Knicks were just not going to win this game without at least an A-level game from Brunson. Doesn't have to be A+. I'll tell you, even an A- game from Brunson could have done it. Could have made the difference. At the end of the day, we lost by a couple of. If we had made 3 more 3-point shots, we win this game. And that could have been Brunson himself. That's the A-level, the game that you need from him. He hits 3 more 3-point shots. Man, this game is completely different. Let's see. I'll show you. I just show you the math here on it. 3 more shots, right? So he would have been 14 for 23, over 50%. 3 more. He would have shot 40% from the 3-point line if he had hit 3 of his 7 attempts. And, man, he would have scored 37 points instead of 25. And the Knicks win this game. 113 to 108. There you go. Now, does it seem as more likely that Brunson's going to do that in game 2? To me, it is. Do we need Randall back? Absolutely. But we can win game 2. If Randall's not ready to go, we can win game 2 with basically the similar type of effort that the players gave on the court, but with better execution and regaining the confidence in your outside shot. What I liked, but what RJ was doing in the first half is he was taking some mid-range shots. He looked at the defense. He saw they were defending him. He took a couple of fallaways, step backs, and they hit. I think he saw one attempt like that in the second half. The Heat did a great adjustment to force RJ to just be like an extra player out on the court for long stretches of time. I didn't feel like he barely even touched the ball. And then when he finally got the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter, he was a little too helter-skelter in his response to that. Game 1, the team that wins game 1, I think they win the series something like, I don't know, 75% of the time or something crazy like that. But, this is a New York team. New York teams are used to going against trends. I once saw an 8th seed get to the finals. That's right. I think that the Knicks, we're going to go back in the lab. They're going to figure this out. They're going to come out with a very different response in that second game. We go back, and there's a chance that Randall doesn't play, but there's a chance that Butler doesn't play. He has a sprained ankle, but he's tough as nails, so who knows. I could see the Heat thinking, okay, you know what? We got game 1. Let's rest. If Randall's not playing, let's rest Jimmy. And let's see if we can steal this game 2 without him, because they don't have Randall. In that scenario, I like our chances no matter what. I even like our chances with Butler out there anyway because of Jalen Brunson and the dog in Josh Hart. I liked what Obi gave us. I liked what RJ gave us. We just need quickly to step up. We need more from Grimes. And Isaiah Hartenstein, we do need a little bit more playmaking from you, brother. Now, I don't think there was opportunities for it, but we're going to need to get those opportunities. There weren't enough active hands punching balls out like there was in the Cavs series. I'm not panicking. I was talking to this about with JD and Keese or whatever, and I felt like, of course, we want to win game 1. You got to, but it wasn't like to me, it didn't seem like a must win, especially considering without Julius being there. It would be near impossible to win this series without Julius. We need him back. Let's hope he's back at least for game 3. It's possible he's back for game 2. You guys are going to see a very different Knicks game in game 2 on Tuesday night. All right, thank you so much for watching this. I may have rambled on a little bit at one point there. I apologize for that. Appreciate the love and support on the channel. Hit that thumbs up button for me and subscribe if you haven't yet, and share this video and drop your comments. I want to hear your thoughts and feelings about this game It was a tough loss, but I have a lot of faith that we're going to see an excellent response in Game 2. And, I forgot the main part. There's a chance that Thibs didn't want to show everything that he's got in his bag in Game 1. A 7-game series, especially when you have home court advantage, becomes a chess match. He didn't want to show everything. No deuce. No deuce. So let's see how Game 2 comes out. I have good faith in it, though. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and on YouTube, of course. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.